So in my last video, it was called National Insecurity, and I spoke about the gaslighting of Americans by calling them or by stripping them of the identity that everyone else has, their so-called national identity. Now, none of these identities are real, but Americans are the most persecuted ideologically in the world by far. And a lot of times, this persecution comes with perks. It's a trade. That's why people come here. The very people that make fun of Americans, so-called Americans, because I understand I don't believe I'm American or anyone is, any of these things. But the very people that make fun of this particular fantastical identity in favor of their fantastical identity, a lot of times they're trying to come here and gain that identity. And then they defend it so adamantly when they finally gain their quote-unquote citizenship. But let's not get too sidetracked from what this video is, because this video is going to get a little bit further into what the persecution of Americans is. And what is America? We talked about what is civilization, but what is America? America is the greatest stage play. Americans are the greatest consumers. America is the focus of countless campaigns of useless products, harmful products, products that harm people, that they test. You know, a lot of times people talk about testing different medicines and stuff on Africa, and that's very true. But I would say equally in the testing of medicine and far more in the testing of other products, especially entertainment products, distracting products, products that are supposed to extract your energy. This is all focused on Americans first. So America is a collection of consumers. Me personally, I've been completely exiled from American society because I don't consume things. I interact with nature. I make a lot of stuff. I make a lot of the things that I want to have, that I want to eat, that I want to drink. I make these things from scratch, or I pick them from the land. I have a very, very small rate of consumption, let's say that. And so I've been completely exiled from the society for the most part. But I don't want to ramble. I just want to talk about a continuum of these videos. Now, they're not going in a line, but as I grow older, the ideas that I have progress. So let's get into this video. Now, this picture is something I saw on Twitter, and I love Twitter because it's just idea central. And a lot of people can't handle it because it's just so dramatic and it's so aggressive. The way the ideas flow back and forth, pictures and words and pictures and words and ideas and pictures and words. But I love it. These are three people that went on this show called Good Morning America. And we're going to analyze this picture because I don't think I've seen a more loaded picture as far as symbolism in my entire life. Now, first let's get into the set before we get into these people. The set is, the first thing you see is Good Morning America. Now, we've talked about what America is briefly. America is a marketplace. Everywhere is a marketplace, but America is the greatest, biggest marketplace. Now, that's slowing down, but it still is. Now, what does good mean? Good refers to God, the acts of God. There's a verse in the Bible, which is what most of our reality is based on, the different Islamic, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Taoist, these different texts from around the world that are based on older texts and older ideas. But in the Bible, there's a verse where someone's calling Jesus good for something he did. I can't remember where it is, but he says there's no good but God. I just say that to bring the correlation between good and God. So when someone talks about good, they're talking about God, godly. Now, morning is, the first part. When the sun rises, that first part is called morning. We know what morning is, but it's also when someone dies. The grieving process is called mourning. So these are talking about two kind of opposing things. And the juxtaposition of one thing against another is part of this reality in the real way. But also it's manipulated in these various occult groups. And we're going to get into that. Now, the God of the morning in the Bible is the quote-unquote devil. I'm pretty knowledgeable about the Bible, but it's been a while since I read it, so I'm going to speak in vague terms. The God of the morning is Satan, which is why it's kind of associated with death, too. Whereas morning is the beginning of the day, death is the beginning of life. And in the Bible, it also says that it's your dying day is better than your birthday. I mean, the book is the perfect balance of good and evil, of good and bad, black and white, etc., tall and short, everything. It's all about this dualistic type of thing. So the God of a morning is addressing America. That's what this says. Good morning, America. Satanic America. And remember, devil is the God, and the God is devil. Or God is the devil, and the devil is God. So that's the first thing you notice is this Good Morning America. The second thing you notice in the set is this curtain for me. And it's kind of like a gateway with the bricks and the blue borders and the gold. You see? Now the curtains represent a stage play. Now, when you go to the theater, there's a curtain on the stage and it's closed. And people are talking, they're coming in, they're sitting down, they're socializing with each other, they're reading the program, they're preparing for the act to begin. And you see this curtain is open now at the theater. When the curtain opens, people become silent and the play begins, the fantasy begins. So what this is saying is, good morning, America. Hail Satan, America. Let the fantasy begin. Okay? And you'll notice this caption at the top, or whatever you want to call it, by Representative Gloria Johnson, says, so this is the thing. I'm so happy we had the opportunity to talk about the gun violence problem on a national stage. We must act now. These young people and their parents want us to act now to save lives. Now, this is 3 sentences, and they say act now twice. They also mention that they mention the young people first because the gods that they worship want sacrifice of youth. They want you to give up your youth. They want you to give up to them early. Like if you just throw your baby in the fire, that's ideal. So they say these young people want us to act now. And they want young people to act now. And their parents. Now, in the first sentence, the end of it talks about the national stage. And this is what I'm talking about when I mention America. And the world isolates America and Americans isolate themselves. Now, most of the people that are in America were shipped here, or they were exiled from their societies for some reason, and this is where they came. From the very beginning, whether it be the pilgrims, the so-called pilgrims, the so-called indentured servants, the so-called slaves, whatever it is, even the native people that were integrated into the society. It's a stage, the national stage. That's what America is. And so people are being compelled to act. And so as the curtain opens in the blue of the night, the morning is illuminated by these lights that say, "Good morning, America," everything begins. Now, the bricks, we know they represent masonry. Now, masons are the people that are responsible for bringing you these acts. They don't really have power like that. It's like it's like in high school, the cool kids. Everybody wants to be part of the club. I was an athlete in high school, and I was a musician and all these things, and I had my leather jacket, and we were cool kids and all that stuff. And people treated us a certain way, and people treat these people a certain way. Now, who are these people? These people are, from the left, I think Justin Pearson, then Justin Jones, then the writer of this post, Representative Gloria Johnson. Now, all of these people, I believe, are state senators representing different districts in Tennessee. They're calling these people the Tennessee Three. Now, without delay, first let's talk about the colors. Now, the person on the right is wearing a dark suit. The person in the middle is wearing a light suit. The person on the right is wearing orange. Now, with these two guys, and they're both the same complexion, to create I'm not sure what the word is. They want you to look at these people together. The duo. One dark, one light, as far as the suits. One has straight hair and one has kinky hair. Now they're all smiling, and smiling represents the showing of teeth all over the planet amongst every animal. Because most animals don't have hands to pick up stuff. They pick up stuff with their teeth and to fight. And so the showing of teeth is aggression all the time. Now, do these people know that that's true? I don't know. They seem like they're very, very brainwashed. They're very controlled. Their minds are controlled. They're not aware. These people aren't thinking. So that's those two people on the left and the right. Now, this person on the right is special. We all know that in society, there's a white-black system. And when you see this type of thing, the white person, the quote-unquote white person, because nobody's white. This person's not white and that person's not black. But the so-called white person here is always going to be in charge. She's got blonde hair. She's got all orange on. All orange. Now, when you see orange, what does it do? Traffic cones are orange. They direct. If you see orange tape, it's going to direct you to a certain place. An orange sign, in the U.S. at least, this is the U.S., you see orange signs and they're going to make you aware of something. They're going to direct you. This is a detour. You can't go this way, you need to go that way. All right? So this person on the right is in charge. She's also much older, which is why she's directing these young people. and their parents. You see? On the national stage to act now, to save lives. Now, when you hear Christians, and this is where this gets mixed up, the whole Christianity and Satanism thing. It's all the same thing. You always hear these Christians talk about being saved, save yourself, save your soul. This is what they're talking about. They want you to be part of this. The whole idea of some kind of gun thing is just about this. And I believe, okay, I don't know if I spoke about this, but let's get into it. The gun violence problem they're talking about. So these people, the so-called Tennessee Three, they interrupted and disrupted a meeting of the state Senate in Tennessee, I believe, with just kind of a spectacle. I think they invited their constituents to protest inside the building. And so they're putting their fists up in defiance. And, you know, this guy on the left is a real worker, you know. He's a real, I don't want to say clown, but he's a fucking actor. You can tell he's the most into it, too. Even in this picture, this guy in the middle is not quite sure. You can see in his left hand that he's not quite sure. But this guy on the left, oh my God, he's adopted a Martin Luther King type of speech pattern that's complete mockery. It's a total show. And I'm surprised that people have fallen for this. It lets me know that it's much worse as far as people's state of mind than it could possibly be. I could possibly imagine. And I'm always surprised by that. But I've become distracted. All right. So let's get into the hand signs. So this hand sign right here, this lady, and they're all doing these very, very stereotypical hand signs. It's nuts. So this is as above, so below. None of this stuff is particularly secret. I'm not making it up. There's thousands of books, numerous articles and publications online to find out about this stuff. And it's completely out in the open. It's as above, so below. And what this means is that the things that happen in the universe, the cosmos, they happen on Earth. And the things that happen on Earth happen in the cosmos. It's a mirroring reality of the world. And this is true. And so a lot of times these people try to get things to happen on Earth because they want control of the cosmos, of the universe, of everything. This is about power. Now, who knows what these people's real identities, races, etc. are? The rabbit hole goes deep, as they say. But that's what that is. The lady in orange is doing as above, so below. And on her left hand, she's got the so-called peace sign. But it's not a peace sign. I don't know if we've talked about this, if I've made a video about this. This is one of the symbols of the Baphomet, which is one of the gods that these people worship. And they all worship these different iterations of the same idea of God, what they worship. Satan, Lucifer, Baphomet, Baal, Molech, all of these different things are the same. And the God of the Bible, the God that's supposed to be benevolent, even represents himself as having multiple names and multiple personalities, even calling himself, my name is jealous, once or twice, I can't remember. But I mean, the God of the Bible, even the benevolent one, calls himself all kinds of names. And the people call him all kinds of names. So that's what this is. As above, so below. Now this one, and I think the reason this guy is being so timid is because this is the most vulgar of all the hand signs. You see that left hand, he's not sure what to do with it. And looking at his eyes, there's a severe sadness, a very severe sadness. Whereas this guy, he is illuminated. He loves this shit. And this lady's just like, I mean, she seems like she's in charge. So, but this one's extremely vulgar. This represents placing your hand in someone's vagina or anus, or possibly mouth, in a sexual way, a sexually dominant way, where you're placing your fingers inside of someone and you're controlling their body like a puppet with the stabilizing fingers on the left and the right. It's nasty, isn't it? I don't know what the jewelry is. I can't really see it. I wish I could, but I can't. Excuse me. But yeah, that's another sign of this God that they worship. And yeah, that's intense. Now, this is a lot of different cultures use these hand signs, and some of them know what they mean. I mean, the people who start these cultures know exactly what it is, but some of the people know what they mean and some of them don't. Probably most of them don't. This is a gang sign where I'm from for the Latin kings. And their phrase is amor de rey. And I believe the king that they don't know that they worship, whoever started that gang knows what this is, but the king that they don't know that they worship is the God of the morning. And that's the same for this guy on the left. Let's get to him. In Chicago, I can't remember which gangs use this. I mean, in Chicago, there's so many gangs, and they have all kind of colors and symbols. It's hard to keep up with them. But this is also, if you turn it a certain way, I think it's the Bloods. I think this might be the BDs with 3 fingers. But I'm just trying to prove a point. I think also when you meditate in Eastern culture, they do both of their hands like this. And it's supposed to give them power. And you get the 3 on one hand and 3 on the other hand, you get 3 6. So this is what this means. The 3 6s, 666, the quote unquote mark of the beast in the Bible. And this guy is excited because he knows he's illuminated, just like the God of the morning. And he wants you to be illuminated too. I mean, these guys are like vacuum salesmen. They're just trying to sell you something because you're America. You're the marketplace. You're the hostages, the captives, the voluntary hostages of the marketplace. That's what America is. And I really feel bad for Americans. Because, well, let's not get into that. I think I may be pretty much done. Is there anything else to talk about here? Like I said, I don't want to prolong this too long. It's probably already about 20 minutes. Oh, you know what? There's something else. Yes, so somehow, I don't know whether I found it on this guy's page or whether I found this guy's page or if this post on this guy's page because of this. But this guy, you know, he's supposed to be a conservative. And in the Bible, I can't remember which book, but it actually chastises liberal people. I mean, throughout. But there's a particular verse that actually specifically says the word liberals and mentions that you shouldn't go about their ways. It says, goodness, and this guy has been on a crusade for years now, and he is just pretending. He's part of the stage act. These people speak in codes and symbols. So he says 6 people were murdered by a trans terrorist, and these 3 disgusting scumbags are cheerfully cashing in. Now, it's very emotional the way he's speaking. He wants you to think he's angry, but really he just wanted to mention the number 6 and the number 3. He could have easily just said 6 people were murdered, and these disgusting scumbags are cheerfully cashing in, but he doesn't want to do that. Now, we're not going to get too far into this person, Matt Walsh. We will one day. We might even do a mind reading thing of him where we analyze his gestures and facial expressions. But I want to show you the dialogue that goes with this stuff. Now, when these people do their rituals, they stand in certain places. They might have a pentagram, or they might have some other kind of symbol on the floor, or not on the floor. Maybe they just stand in this structure. Or maybe they all make this structure with a whole bunch of people. Or maybe they order their buildings in this structure, and they have these meetings at certain times of the day to do this. That's the way Washington, D.C. is set up. The National Mall and all this stuff. We'll get into that. But this is how they communicate. One person will say something, then the other person will say something, the other person will say something, and they get a flow of energy going until they can do something with that energy. But we're getting too much into the why, and I want to take this slow, and I want you to be able to see this and to be aware of this. This is these people communicating with each other. Digitally. And I'm sure if I went into the comments of this Matt Walsh person's post here, I could probably decipher more communication, because the more these people communicate back and forth in this way, the more energy they gain, the more power they gain, the more togetherness they gain. Because unity is everything. Unity's power. Not money, not control of land, unity. United we stand, divided we fall. A house divided against itself. Hello? You hear me? All right, so before I just start rambling on and on, we're going to get out of here. Hope you have a wonderful day, and peace.